Orville took his position in the cradle. Wilbur was on the right wing. They started the engine. Lo and behold, 40 feet down the rail, the aircraft lifts up. They flew 120 feet in 12 seconds. 12 seconds that changed the history of mankind forever.
The story of aviation began with a dream. The dream of flying like birds in the sky. For centuries, people wondered if humans could conquer the skies. But it wasn't until the early 20th century that this dream became a reality. Follow us on this thrilling journey to uncover the evolution of plane speed through history. And hit the bell icon, like, and share the link to other plane freaks. The Wright brothers, Orville and Wilbur, are celebrated as pioneers in aviation history. On December 17, 1903, they achieved the first powered, controlled flight at Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. Their plane, the Wright Flyer, stayed airborne for just 12 seconds and covered 120 feet, while its speed was only about 10 miles per hour.
This film, made in 1903, recalls the first flight of this primitive biplane making aviation history. As the two brothers prepare to attempt the first catapulted takeoff, man's age-old dream of flight becomes a reality.
This event marked the beginning of a revolutionary journey. Before the Wright brothers, many inventors and thinkers had tried to create flying machines. Some built gliders, while others experimented with balloons. These efforts, though groundbreaking, couldn't achieve controlled or powered flight. What set the Wright brothers apart was their scientific approach. They studied how birds flew, built wind tunnels to test their designs, and invented controls that allowed a pilot to steer the plane. Their work wasn't just about getting off the ground. It was about staying in the air and controlling the flight. After their success, aviation began to grow quickly. By 1908, the Wright brothers' improved planes could reach speeds of around 40 miles per hour. This might seem slow by today's standards, but it was a significant leap forward at that time. In Europe, aviation also began to take off. Inventors like Louis Blériot, a French engineer, pushed the boundaries of speed and distance. In 1909, Blériot became the first person to fly across the English Channel, traveling at an average speed of about 45 miles per hour. As the years passed, planes began to compete in air races, showcasing their increasing speeds and capabilities. These races helped push engineers to develop more powerful engines and sleeker designs. For example, the Schneider Trophy, an international competition held in the 1910s and 1920s, challenged pilots and manufacturers to build the fastest planes.
On the racing circuit, one event, more than any other, came to symbolize the quest for speed. It started at Monaco in 1913. Jacques Schneider, the French Undersecretary for Air, wanted to promote the design of seaplanes. He donated a magnificent trophy for which international teams would compete.
The early years of aviation were about more than just speed. They were about proving that humans could master the skies. The early 20th century showed the world that flying wasn't just a fantasy. It was a reality. The two world wars were some of the most intense and transformative periods in human history.
Was shattered. Holland and Belgium were overrun. France succumbed.
They didn't just change the world politically and socially, they also sparked rapid advancements in technology, including aviation. Planes, which were relatively new inventions at the time, became critical tools for warfare. The demand for faster, stronger, and more reliable aircraft grew dramatically during these conflicts, pushing the limits of engineering and design. During World War I, 1914 to 1918, airplanes were used mainly for reconnaissance. Pilots flew over enemy territory to gather information, but these early planes were slow, fragile, and not very reliable. Most aircraft at the time had top speeds of around 100 miles per hour. However, as the war progressed, planes were quickly adapted for combat, leading to the creation of fighter planes and bombers. These new aircraft needed to be faster to outmaneuver enemies in the sky. Engineers responded by developing more powerful engines and better aerodynamic designs. By the end of the war, some planes, like the Sopwith Camel and the Fokker DR-1, could reach speeds of up to 135 miles per hour. The interwar period, from 1919 to 1939, was a time of experimentation and growth in aviation. Countries invested heavily in research to improve plane performance. When World War II began in 1939, aviation technology took another giant leap forward. Planes were now a crucial part of military strategy, used for bombing, transporting troops, and engaging in dogfights. Speed was no longer just an advantage, it was essential. The development of faster planes could mean the difference between victory and defeat. One of the most iconic planes of the era was the Supermarine Spitfire, a British fighter aircraft. With a top speed of over 360 miles per hour, the Spitfire played a vital role in defending Britain during the Battle of Britain. Meanwhile, in the United States, planes like the P-51 Mustang were designed to escort bombers over long distances. These planes could reach speeds of up to 440 miles per hour, making them some of the fastest aircraft of the war. On the German side, engineers were experimenting with jet propulsion, a groundbreaking technology that would change aviation forever. The Messerschmitt Me-262, introduced late in the war, was the world's first operational jet-powered fighter. It could reach speeds of over 540 miles per hour, far surpassing any propeller-driven aircraft of the time. World War II also saw the introduction of long-range bombers like the B-29 Superfortress, which combined speed, range, and heavy firepower. By the end of the war, the top speeds of planes had more than quadrupled in just a few decades. The World War era proved that necessity drives innovation. The arrival of the jet age in the mid-20th century was a turning point in aviation history. It marked a time when planes became faster, more powerful, and more capable than ever before. The jet engine, which replaced the traditional propeller engine, was the key innovation that made this possible. Unlike propellers, jet engines compressed air and mixed it with fuel to create a powerful thrust, allowing planes to reach incredible speeds. The jet age began shortly after World War II, with military jets taking center stage. One of the first successful jet aircraft was a British Gloster Meteor, introduced in 1944. It could reach speeds of over 600 miles per hour, making it much faster than any propeller-driven plane. The United States and the Soviet Union quickly developed their own jets, leading to the development of high-speed fighter planes during the Cold War. Jets like the American F-86 Sabre and the Soviet MiG-15 dominated the skies, setting the stage for a new era of aerial combat. In 1947, a groundbreaking moment in aviation history occurred. American pilot Chuck Yeager flew the Bell X-1, a rocket-powered plane, and became the first person to break the sound barrier. Flying at a speed of 767 miles per hour, Yeager's achievement proved that supersonic flight, traveling faster than the speed of sound, was possible. This opened the door to even faster planes and more ambitious goals in aviation. As jet technology advanced, commercial aviation also experienced a major transformation. In 1952, the British de Havilland Comet became the world's first commercial jetliner. It could fly at speeds of up to 500 miles per hour, cutting travel time significantly compared to traditional propeller planes. While commercial jets revolutionized air travel, the pursuit of speed continued. Engineers and pilots aimed to go even faster, leading to the development of supersonic passenger planes. The most famous of these was the Concorde, a joint project by Britain and France. Introduced in 1976, the Concorde could fly at speeds of over 1,350 miles per hour, more than twice the speed of sound. It could cross the Atlantic Ocean in just over 3 hours, making it a symbol of technological achievement and luxury. The jet age and the quest for supersonic flight transformed aviation forever. It was a time of bold innovation, where the boundaries of speed and technology were pushed to their limits. The story of aviation speed didn't stop with the jet age or supersonic breakthroughs. In the 21st century, engineers and scientists are pushing the boundaries even further, aiming for hypersonic speeds and futuristic technologies that could redefine how we think about air travel. Hypersonic speeds, which are 5 times the speed of sound, over 3,800 miles per hour, represent the next frontier in aviation. One of the biggest challenges in achieving hypersonic speeds is the extreme heat and pressure created when a plane travels so fast. At these speeds, the air around the aircraft becomes superheated, creating temperatures that can melt most materials. To overcome this, engineers are developing advanced materials that can withstand these conditions, such as heat-resistant alloys and ceramic composites. These technologies are being tested in experimental aircraft like NASA's X-43A, which set a world record in 2004 by reaching a speed of Mach 9.6, nearly 10 times the speed of sound.
This is NASA's X-43A experimental vehicle, and in its final flight all the way back in 2004, it achieved a top speed of Mach 9.6 or around 7,000 miles per hour, making it the world's fastest jet-powered hypersonic aircraft, a record which it holds even today. The X-43As would be released at an altitude of around 40,000 feet from a B-52 bomber, after which they would activate their own scramjet engines to reach hypersonic speeds. These aircrafts help NASA better understand hypersonic flight and how air-breathing jet engines function at mind-boggling speeds exceeding Mach 5. These guys were the first to use scramjet engines at hypersonic speed, which today form the main form of propulsion for the US's hypersonic weapons and flight programs.
In addition to materials, the engines powering hypersonic aircraft are incredibly complex. Traditional jet engines aren't capable of operating at such high speeds, so researchers have developed new types of propulsion systems, such as scramjets, supersonic combustion ramjets. These engines are being used in experimental projects like the Boeing X-51 Wave Rider, which successfully demonstrated sustained hypersonic flight in 2013. The applications of hypersonic technology go far beyond breaking speed records. In the military, hypersonic missiles are being developed by countries like the United States, China, and Russia. These weapons can travel so fast that they're nearly impossible to detect and intercept, potentially changing the nature of warfare. As engineers and scientists continue to innovate, the dream of faster, safer, and more efficient flight is closer than ever. The skies of the future promise to be more exciting than we can imagine, taking us places we once thought impossible. So, you love this content? Comment and subscribe to this channel for more engaging content.